Welcome back to the GPP, Gifted Performance Podcast, giving you all the knowledge and practical takeaways to improve your own general physical preparedness. I am your host. I'll always be your host. There's nothing you can do to stop me from being your host. Thy underscore. Thy squat. I like that too. The Squat Father, coming at you live and direct with episode 19. I have to warn you, if you are a tested athlete, so if you are USAPL, USAW, natural bodybuilder, OCB, WNBF, you may want to stay away from this podcast episode because it is juiced to the gills. It is not USADA. It is not WADA approved. Memes and things is absolutely one of our more unhinged gatherings of findings from the wonderful world of Instagram. All my assets today are from Instagram, which makes Jake's life easy. He doesn't have to overlay pictures or anything like that. It's all Instagram this week, Jake. That's where I found all my goodness. What are we going to get into? That's the important part. Today, we've got quite a few things. We've got a new way to fast, so a new style of fasting. Everyone likes intermittent fasting, time-restricted eating, whatever you like to call it. I found a new way to fast, and something about this style of fasting is a little fishy, so stay tuned for that. Seated squatting for glute development. So not a box squat, not squatting to a seated position like you would see squatting to a bench or squatting to, I don't even know, like a med ball or anything like that. We're talking full-on seated squatting. Let that simmer. Talk about the disrespect to biomechanics, physics, the direction of gravity, all of that. Another news Ozempic imitator has entered the chat. So we've got the Ozempic craze has not slowed down whatsoever. We've got another Ozempic imitator. And I would consider it to be very low effort. We've got a donut hack. So if you're watching this and you are dieting, maybe you're on lower calories than you'd like, a donut hack if you are fat loss dieting. And it really only works if you're suffering from what I would consider diet-related terminal taste bud failure is probably what I would call it. A training fail. Rarely do we post training fails in here, but I found one that made me cringe, and I very rarely cringe at training fails or, people hurting themselves in the gym. Pretty good at hurting myself in the gym, so I'm someone who thinks he has seen it all, but this one is brand new, hot off the press. People being mean in Instagram comments, and the inverse of that, people actually being encouraging in Instagram comments. So we're going to set the record straight on how you should behave on the internet when it comes to fitness-related content. And last but not least is an enhanced to natty transformation, so a PED user turned natty. That genuinely shook me. It's not a good look for your enhanced bodybuilders. So it's not a good look for the enhanced bodybuilders that say, PEDs, they just push you over the edge. You already have to train hard. You have to eat right. It's just, the icing on top. It's the sprinkles. It's the cherry. It's not the entire sundae. This is an PED user turned natty due to side effects. That shows that it may be the ice cream, the hot fudge, the sprinkles, the whipped cream, and then what he was doing on his own was like not even a real cherry, like a disgusting old maraschino that's been sitting out on the table for 3 hours. Yucky. But before we get into the meat of the episode, memes and things, what you came here to listen to view today, let's talk about today's sponsor. Today's sponsor is the Gifted Express. A lot of you, you come to Gifted for nutrition coaching. You say, I've got my training figured out. I show up at the gym. I do my thing. I work out hard, all of that. And then you go to the gym and you're like, what exercise do I do? How many sets do I do? How do I progress from week to week? When do I change out my exercises? It's so much for me to keep track of. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Stop wasting your time. $30 a month, $1 a day. That's like a coffee a week because you're going to Starbucks and getting a $7.50 coffee. So $30 a month, sign up for the Gifted Express, get your training figured out, stop showing up at the gym and just completely guessing on what you're going to be doing at the gym. You can find the Gifted Express. I'm going to show you. Jake, I'm going to show them where they can find the Gifted Express. Here it is. The beautiful Gifted website. Go over here to coaching. You've got your free consultation. So if you are looking for one-on-one coaching, schedule a free consultation. One-on-one coaching, what it includes, who you can work with here. The second link, training templates. Maybe you want to do it yourself template that can last you for, months, if not years, by swapping out those exercises on your own. You want to choose the exercise, but the structure, the progressions, and all of that is something that you want to figure out for yourself. Or you can click this last one here, Gifted Express, the bus, the public transport to your goals, to your gains. You can read a little bit about the Gifted Express here and the tracks that we offer. So we've got a lifestyle, bodybuilding, powerlifting, and an Olympic weightlifting track. All of those to fit your specific needs. And again, if you do say, I think I need a little bit more guidance on that, or, maybe I want to use the Gifted Express, but I want to use one-on-one nutrition coaching alongside of it. I don't want to figure it out on my own. Boom, schedule a free consult. We'll set you up with a coach that can get you to your nutritional goals as well. So no more guessing, no more messing around. When your pipes break in your house, you hire a plumber. When the wiring is fried and, just flipping shit in the circuit breaker doesn't work anymore, you call an electrician. Why, if you're trying to get into the best shape of your life, why are you trying to do it yourself? Why are you trying to figure it out on your own? Why are you wasting your time when for a simple investment of, anywhere from $150 to $250 a month, depending on the coach that you work with, it's really not that much money. Maybe $180 a month if you want to do the Gifted Express with nutrition coaching. You can get to all of your goals. You can get there and you can find a way to make them stick. This isn't a permanent thing. This isn't like, these are payments forever for the rest of my life. Our coaches pride themselves in providing the education necessary to make these results stick. So stop messing around. Stop wasting your time in the gym. Stop trying to figure out your own nutrition. Stop doing weird fasting, Ozempic shenanigans that we're going to talk about later. Let us figure it out for you. Save you some time, save you some money along the way. As always, we need this podcast to get out to as many people as possible. So any rating that you can give us, 5 stars, a review, this podcast changed my life, comments, notification bell, subscriptions, send it to your friends, like it, comment again when you're done with all of that. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sending this to all of your friends, all of your peeps. As the podcast grows, the general knowledge base of the field as a whole grows, people get better results, and we can all be happy about that. We have more people to share our results with, more people to share the journey with, which makes it worthwhile. Today's drip is the Pathetic Goose. I love this shirt. Found it in the back of my closet before I was recording. I was like, man, I haven't worn that one in one of the episodes yet. So get yourself a Pathetic shirt. I don't know where I got it. I think Jimmy got it for me on, I don't even know, Father's Day maybe? I don't know. It's a good shirt to wear to the gym. It's funny. Probably going to wear it. Competing this weekend, probably going to wear my Pathetic shirt for an event that I know that we can win, so I can just look at the other guys and be like, pathetic. The goose is on the loose, and he does not approve of your effort level. This week's big offering, and Jake's going to put a Google form in the notes section of the show, is for our fall retreat. So please use the Google form, fill that out, express interest, reserve your spot. This retreat is shorter in duration, smaller price tag, but the same amount of fun. We're still going all inclusive, so all of your food, all the excursions, your lodging, all of that is included with a single price, and payment options are available as well. Please use that Google form to express interest, and we will see you guys in North Carolina in the fall, where we will be observing the foliage. You might even catch Squat Father going on a hike, which he doesn't love to do, but he'll do it for his people. All right.
Memes and fangs.
Now, starting things off, I think we started things off last week as well with a carnivore weirdo. Regular part of the show now is your carnivore weirdos. So this is a new style of fasting that popped up on my Explore page. It is a 10-day sardine fast. So in the screenshot here, she is eating the sardine spinal cord. Sardines are gross. Anchovies are pretty good. Sardines I can't do. Anchovies I can definitely do. But here is your 10-day sardine fast. She's doing a 10-day fast because, again, all right, so here's the thing. People in like fitness and nutrition, now they just say words. Like words don't mean anything because you can just say them whenever you want and you can just disrespect the actual definition of it. So 10-day sardine fast. A fast means you're not eating. If you're eating sardines, that's not a fast. You're just eating only sardines for 10 days. That's not a fast. That's just eating sardines. You're basically just on the, what are they, like the seals? The sea lions at the zoo? You're basically on the sea lion diet. Like that's a better, more accurate than, a 10-day sardine fast. So she's going to not eat anything, just going to eat sardines, listen to her hunger cues. They're super nutritious. I'm only going to eat sardines, but I'm going to cook it in oil, food, calories, and I'm going to put a bunch of sauce on it because I hate the taste. Again, food, calories. Going with the King Oscar brand. I wonder if she's sponsored. But so 10-day sardine fast. I'm only going to eat sardines and sauce and oil and, the stuff that I cook it in. That's all I'm going to eat. So interesting enough. Sounds horrible. Are sardines nutritious? Sure. Plenty of, essential fatty acids, your omega-3s. Do you need to go on a diet where you only eat sardines, oils, and sauces? No, probably not. You'll get a decent amount of protein, but your diet will be tremendously high in calories as a result of the oils, the sauces, and the fats, the naturally high fat that you're going to find in sardines. So are sardines a good part of an otherwise balanced and nutritious diet? Sure, why not? I don't think it's necessary to eat sardines if you don't like them. Other ways to get essential fatty acids in your diet through other fatty fishes. Let's just see how our friend Courtney is doing on day 5. So on day 5, oh, wow. Things have changed just a bit. We've got F sardines as the main frame of these. So she's going to do a YouTube video. Top comment is stay delusional. Love that. So she's saying, I hate sardines. I'm over this. She's ditching the mustard to go for a Chipotle mayo, even more calories, even more oil, because only eating sardines for 10 days is disgusting and they really don't taste that good. And she's chopping them up to eat them. It literally looks like cat food. What does that say? I want to let this run through again. I think she said she's down like 4.8 pounds in 5 days. Again, largely because you're only eating sardines. You're not eating a lot of carbohydrates. Going to lose a lot of water weight. I think she also said she was down a certain percentage of body fat as well. Chipotle mayo. Burned out on mustard. Yeah, well, you're eating cat food. That's why you feel like a cat. Feeling really good. I found a brand that doesn't make me want to vomit. King Oscar brand. They're the most tolerable. Again, it's down 4.8 pounds. I've lost, I think, like 0.6% body fat. So that's a good one. So down almost 5 pounds and not even down 1%, around 0.5 percentage point of body fat, which again shows you that the majority of the weight that she is losing is going to be water weight, is going to be glycogen stored in the muscle because she's only eating sardines. She's not eating carbohydrates. It's the same thing that you would see in your standard ketogenic diet where the initial fat loss is largely a result of carbohydrates and water being pushed out of the system. And she is in for a surprise when she finally ditches the sardines and starts eating carbohydrates again. And her weight spikes probably higher than when she started the diet, started the fast. I'm going to eat food, but fast. And then largely that's an overcorrection of the body. We've also, I think, anyone who's done a low carbohydrate diet before has seen this. Maybe you're like a bodybuilder, or maybe you're getting ready for a powerlifting meet, weightlifting meet. You cut your carbohydrates super low to make weight, and then you start eating carbohydrates for like a day after, and your weight spikes up like 1 or 2 pounds higher than even where you started the weight cut. the heck happened? It's just an overcorrection of carbohydrates and water, a supercompensation by the body, because the body thinks, oh no, that might happen again. Let me overcompensate, store more carbohydrates, store more water than before, just in case we find ourselves in that situation again. So, Courtney, when you ditch the sardines, you're going to gain all of that weight back and probably more. And that's going to be discouraging because you just spent the last 10 days eating nothing but sardines and Chipotle mayo, which is gross. That really basically is cat food. All right, let's move away from nutritional weirdness and stupidity over to training weirdness and stupidity. We'll go back to nutrition after this one. This is a video came across my timeline. We've got ourselves Cassidy Morgan here. Cassidy Morgan overall posts quality content. I'm going to just say that right now. Like, a lot of her stuff is actually good about like growing your glutes and eating and, you know, getting protein in. A lot of her content is very solid. This post is retarded. Stop listening to them. Seated squat. For fuck's sake, social media ruining gyms. Kelson Buckley, you are 100% correct on this one. All right. So the video says POV, you discover seated sumo. What's she going to say? Hip thrust? Good mornings? Deadlifts? Curls? No. When you discover seated sumo squats, you can't do a seated squat because when you're seated, you've already done the squat. And it's like, okay, well, maybe she means that she's going to sit down and then stand back up, because that's a squat, because you're squatting down into a seated position, and then you would stand back up. The rest of the caption says, finally feel them 10 times more in your glutes. You experience zero back pain and feel the top shelving by the minute. Okay. She apparently got this from Brett Contreras, and Brett Contreras is not a dumb person. Brett Contreras, has he has done some weird stuff. He's appeared on the show before of doing some weird stuff, but I think overall Brett understands how muscle is built, and he understands that maybe a seated squat isn't a real. Let's just play the video. All right. So set up, got the dumbbell between her legs. She's wide in a sumo stance, and then she is hinging over at the hips and then coming back up. Not entirely, but coming back up. So this is actually kind of like a seated good morning with the load in between your legs. So the reason that you feel this in your glutes is because it's a hip hinge. The reason that this isn't a squat is because there's no squat pattern in it. Nothing about this is a squat. If you were to stand up and do this, it would be an RDL or a good morning, depending how you're looking at it. It remains fully a hip hinge. Nothing about this movement whatsoever is a squat. So again, you have zero back pain because you're not loading the spine. Chances are you were having back pain in your squats because you were loading the spine very heavily and then squatting with terrible technique. That's probably why squats hurt your back. And if you're trying to feel squats in your upper butt shelf, your shelf be shelving by the minute, you're using the wrong exercise. Squats are not really your best option for glutes. Will they grow the glutes? Absolutely. Will they do a great job of growing the glutes? For sure. Definitely. But if your goal is like, I just want to isolate my glutes, my glute max, you want to use something that has more of a hip hinge, more hip flexion and extension than something like a squat. An ass to grass squat has plenty of hip flexion and extension, but it's like, okay, if I want one exercise that's going to build my glutes, it's for sure not going to be a high bar or a low bar back squat. It's either going to be a lunge, very deep, very wide stride lunge, or very long stride lunge with a ton of hip flexion and extension, or it's going to be an RDL. It's going to be some sort of hip hinge pattern. It sure as shit ain't going to be sitting on a bench with a dumbbell between my legs, hinging over, and then calling that a seated sumo squat. This isn't a squat. Cassie, your understanding of squatting is poor. Your understanding of everything else seems to be pretty decent. I give this post an S. I give your content overall a B-, and a B- isn't too bad. That's our training dumb stuff. Well, we got plenty of training dumb stuff, but that's the end of that training piece right there. Takeaway, TLDR, you fast forwarded through this section. You can't do a squat when you're sitting down because when you're sitting down, you've already done the squat. How about that? All right. Moving forward. Now this one I did my due diligence on because I saw this and I was like, man, this is one of those claims that's so stupid. I need to figure out what they even think is going on here so I can understand why it's stupid. So again, it's another one of these silly posts that's like POV, you blah, blah, blah. Dude, that wouldn't even be your POV because if you're the person in the video, your POV, point of vision, is out of your eyeballs. You would be looking at what you're looking at. This is someone else's POV. Guys, we need to understand what POV means. Let's try and figure that out first, but that's neither here nor there and isn't relevant to the post. All right. The post itself is a woman stirring up olive oil, it looks like, and drinking it. So she's pouring it in. It says POV. You find out olive oil mimics the effects of Ozempic. Interesting. Let's read the caption. So this comes from a profile, Olive A. I don't really know how to pronounce that. It's some sort of olive oil based tablet capsule that has some super concentrated extra virgin olive oil with, hydroxytyrosol in it. And again, we'll talk about hydroxytyrosol here in a second. Let's read the caption. A study from Nutrition and Diabetes by Bioli et al. Revealed that extra virgin olive oil acts similarly to a natural Ozempic. There's no such thing as a natural Ozempic. Ozempic is a pharmaceutical drug. You're not going to find like, oh my God, guys, we found the Ozempic tree. Oh man, look, it's the Ozempic bush. Let's harvest its berries. Ozempic doesn't exist in nature. If it did, that'd be wild. Researchers discovered that incorporating extra virgin olive oil into a Mediterranean diet, a diet that's, predominantly a very healthy diet to begin with, not only lowered participants' blood sugar levels, but also increased GLP-1, same hormone targeted by diabetes medication like Ozempic. So that's kind of what they're talking about here is that when you include extra virgin olive oil in a diet, it increases GLP-1 levels. And we'll talk about why that works and, again, why this is just people bastardizing mechanisms of the body to fit their own marketing needs, which I really, really dislike. It shows a very poor understanding or, just a desire to take advantage of people, which I don't enjoy. The study divided 25 healthy participants, 25, big sample size, into two groups to explore the effects of a Mediterranean diet with and without EVOO. What a fucking weird study. Imagine signing up for this study. It's like, oh, I got the Mediterranean diet with olive oil group. Yay. Blood tests conducted 2 hours after meals revealed lower blood sugar levels and higher levels of GLP-1 in the EVOO, extra virgin olive oil group. Key factors that Ozempic targets to promote weight loss by enhancing satiety and reducing appetite. Yes, you read that right. Extra virgin olive oil might help you feel fuller, longer, and reduce your overall calorie intake. That's a fucking insane statement. That is an insane statement. Extra virgin olive oil might help you feel fuller, longer. Sure, definitely, because it has calories and fat has a very strong effect on satiety because it slows down the rate of digestion, mimicking Ozempic's effects and reducing your overall calorie intake. By incorporating some of the most highest calorie dense food, olive oil, in your diet can actually reduce the calorie intake. Oh man, major insight for those looking to manage weight naturally. While it's not a standalone solution or a substitute for medical advice, it certainly encourages a healthy addition to your dietary habits. Please always consider the simple, natural options at your disposal. All right, that was a doozy of a caption. All right, now let's pick apart some of the pieces here. So the first thing that they mention in this second paragraph here is that researchers discovered that incorporating extra virgin olive oil increases GLP-1. So a lot of people say like, okay, increases GLP-1. They know that GLP-1 has an effect on satiety. GLP-1 up equals good because hunger won't be as high. It, blunts those hunger, increases satiety. Correct. But why? So hold on. First, This AI overview on Google is actually pretty cool. I like it. But apparently there are issues with it because the way that it works is it just pulls from all search results, and people are just intentionally posting stuff on Reddit because it's Reddit that's like hilariously wrong. So these AI overviews are pulling from these Reddit posts that are just like blatantly false information and saying some crazy stuff. I'm going to dig some up and I'll put them on the next episode. So come back for episode 20. We'll have some funny AI stuff on there on top of our usual funny AI stuff. All right. Glucagon, like peptide 1, GLP-1, hormone that has many metabolic effects, regulates blood sugar. Body releases GLP-1 after eating, and usually the magnitude by which the GLP-1 secretion is related to the overall nutrient content of the meal itself, in that a larger meal will show a greater increase in GLP-1. So by having one meal without extra virgin olive oil and then one with extra virgin olive oil, the one that has a greater volume of calories of nutrients, theoretically, largely what we see in practice is that it creates a greater magnitude of response from GLP-1. So the body releases GLP-1 after eating, which prompts it to produce more insulin, which in turn reduces blood sugar. GLP-1 has other effects, reducing inflammation, may be involved in learning, memory, and reward behavior. So the reason that the researchers saw an increase in GLP-1 in the group with extra virgin olive oil is because the meal was larger. It was a larger meal, so therefore higher energy dense, higher calorie meal. Therefore, we see a higher increase of GLP-1. So obviously you're going to feel fuller after a meal that has a greater calorie content, especially from something like extra virgin olive oil. And the reason why blood sugar levels went down was because of that increase in GLP-1. So GLP went up, insulin secretion went up, blood sugar went down. Both of these responses could be mimicked using other foods. Like let's say that, one group they were eating Mediterranean diet is a lot of fish. So they were eating a lot of cod. The one meal had cod. The other meal had salmon. They're both 8 ounces. The salmon meal is going to be significantly higher in fat, especially these essential fatty acids. So you would get a greater GLP-1 response from the group that ate the salmon as opposed to the cod group. Does that mean that salmon is a natural Ozempic? No, it's just the body's natural response to a meal that's going to be higher in nutrients, in this case, higher in fat. Now, sticking with that example of the cod versus the salmon, if all else remains the same, all else stays the same in the diet, protein is controlled, calories are controlled, physical activity is controlled, exercise is controlled, the group that has the cod in the meal, with all other things controlled, will lose a greater amount of weight than the group with the salmon, despite this increased GLP-1, despite this decreased blood sugar. The group that ate the cod is going to lose more weight because the calorie content of the diet is lower. If everything else around this is controlled, the diet that is going to be lower in calories, despite any GLP-1 Ozempic mimetic effect of the higher fat, higher energy density meal, the cod group is going to win. So is cod now a magical food for fat loss? No, again, just comes down to, energy density of the diet, energy content of the diet. And if a meal that contains salmon, if a meal that contains extra virgin olive oil allows you over the course of an entire day to maintain a lower energy content or a lower calorie count, then you're going to lose more weight. It is simple as that. It has nothing to do with any magic effect there. Now, I tried to find the study that they referenced. I couldn't find the exact study, but I did find some other interesting stuff based on what I found on their profile. So, I broke it. Oh, wow. Look at this. Instagram is breaking. Sweet. All right. So here's what I found. This is pinned to their profile. So I think that this is like one of their big ones here. So they've added this compound here, hydroxytyrosol. So reduced heart attack, strokes, powerful health benefits. You need to drink a whole bottle of olive oil to get the amount of They basically just put hydroxytyrosol in these capsules that seemingly just have olive oil in them. So meet our capsule in capsule So it's hydroxytyrosol capsule inside of another capsule that has extra virgin olive oil in it. This is so much work to create something that doesn't do anything. So I was like, all right, let's look up at hydroxytyrosol. Let's see what this is all about. So hydroxytyrosol, phenolic compound drawn from olive tree, found in olive oil. Its leaves as a byproduct of obtaining and manufacturing olive oil. So it's something that's, found in olive oil, found in olives. Due to its molecular structure, several beneficial effects: antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer, and as a protector of skin and eyes. So this study was looking at a functional ingredient to be added to meat to, for a meat-containing or a very high meat diet, increasing the amount of this compound that apparently has antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer effects. Theory around a high meat diet or a high meat content diet is that there's a high amount of oxidative stress, chronic inflammatory environment, increased cancer risk, and skin and eyes can suffer. So they were saying, all right, we'll add hydroxytyrosol to the diet. New trends about the application of this. Problem is that it smells like shit and has a really strong flavor, so it's tough. I would assume that's why they're encapsulating it twice, this olive A. So that's what hydroxytyrosol is, or HXT, we'll call it. I was like, okay, well, why are they using it in a weight loss product? With the benefits listed here, can be a health promoting ingredient, sure. Not sure that this study found any significant effect, but some theory, some mechanism here. Why add it to a weight loss product? So I was like, all right, let's look a little deeper here. Let's see if we can find anything. Long-term hydroxytyrosol administration, the effect on body weight, fat mass, and urine metabolomics. Randomized, double-blind, prospective human study. So decent study here. There was 24 weeks in duration. 29 women who were either overweight or obese. 6 months. They tracked their weight. And what we found was the important part right here. Statistically significant weight and visceral fat mass loss were observed in the group receiving the maximum hydroxytyrosol dosage versus placebo after 4 weeks of the intervention, with attenuation of these findings at 12 and 24 weeks of the study. So it seemed like there was no statistical significance or statistical significance at the 12 and 24 week mark of the study. So it's like a lot of things. It's like, oh, I put them on a diet for 4 weeks and they got results, and the hydroxytyrosol group got better results. And then that disappeared at 12 and 24 weeks. So first human cohort study, long-term, looking at hydroxytyrosol, effect on obesity. Really cool stuff. I like the study as a whole. And I know you're saying, well, Ryan, you want to prove that this Olive A company is garbage and you're going to find a way to shoot down this study. And you're right, I am. So not only do I not like this attenuation of these findings at 12 and 24 weeks, it's a really weird way to say that, for 4 weeks it looked good and then nothing happened. But when we go down to the methods section, all right, let's make our way down to the methods section, because they've got some very, very interesting ways of phrasing this. Here we go. During the 6 months of the intervention, participants were consulted at each visit by a dietitian. Fantastic. Followed a personalized hypocaloric diet based on their estimated basal metabolic rate, following the principles of the MD in all cases. It's actually rare that you see a diet study. You bring a dietitian in and give them a personalized hypocaloric diet. During each visit, adherence to the diet was assessed with the use of a diet recall questionnaire. So they weren't providing meals for them. They weren't providing food for them. They were not controlling the diet whatsoever. They were basically saying, hey, ladies, here's a diet. Follow it. We'll check back in on you in 4 and 12 and 24 weeks. Self-reported diets, self-reported nutrition data is horrible. People lie all the time, not because they think that they're going to gain anything from it, but people just lie and underestimate the food that they're eating. And the level of physical activity was recorded in compliance with capsule consumption. So really, they were just looking at, like, are you taking your capsules? there was no control of diet here. So to say, there's a statistically significant difference in the group who was taking the hydroxytyrosol at 4 weeks, but that kind of went away at 12 and 24 weeks. And oh yeah, we also gave them a diet, but we didn't make sure that they followed it at all. This is not a great study. I wouldn't base an entire supplement company around that. I also wouldn't base an entire supplement company around olive oil. Olive oil's played out, right? I think olive oil has come and gone. Olive oil was good for a while in terms of like hype around it. And then it kind of gave way to coconut oil, which gave way to like MCT, medium chain triglyceride oils. And then when that went away, I think people are mostly done guzzling oils. So this is a good one. Popped up on my Explore page. Very funny. I'm glad they only have 250 followers. That means not a lot of people are following the BS that they're promoting. Olive oil, is it good to include in your diet? Sure, why not? Very rich in omega-6s, but I don't really think a lot of people need more plant oils in their diet. I think if we're looking at fatty acids to add to the diet, I would stay away from the plant oils and I would go more towards your omega-3s, your fatty fishes. That's probably where more people actually need some supplementation. All right, moving on to another side of the nutrition weirdness world is this page that I found. Jordy Bakes. Jordy is a certified personal trainer through the ISSA. You guys know why I like the ISSA? I like the ISSA because they were the first one to say, you know what, fuck it, just take your personal trainer exam at home. We don't even care. Open book, whatever. Fuck it, just pay us. Now the NASM does it. I don't think ACSM does it, but they're all going to move in this direction soon. Like, just take it at home. As long as you pay us, we don't really care. That's neither here nor there. She's also a foodie, a cat mom, and an adventurer. Again, I don't really care about the profile as a whole. Jordy, I'm sure, is a great person. I care about the content. So, Lazy Girl Glazed Donut. 105 calories, 13 grams of protein, 20 grams of carbs, and 3 grams of fat. For a donut, holy macaroni. This has got to be a good one. People are going to love this, right? All right, it starts off with a hamburger bun. Jordy, that's a hamburger bun. Donuts are not made out of hamburger buns. The dough used in donuts is sweetened with sugar. So you kind of can't just put a bunch of sweet shit on a hamburger bun and call it a donut. Tumblr anorexia recipe. Brutal, but not wrong. That's a hamburger bun. I hope this helps. I like Sarah Dean 123 wins the comp. All right, let's actually watch the video. All right, so it is. Oh, and it's a keto bun. That's disgusting. Way worse. Why wouldn't you use like a Hawaiian roll? Like, that's actually sweet and would probably be good. All right, we're still in this hamburger bun with raspberry jelly. And then we're going to mix protein powder, Truvia convectioner sugar, and what is that? Almond milk? And now you've got a hamburger bun with a bunch of sugar on it and jelly in the middle. That is not a donut. But hey, she's got some other ones here. Maybe the other ones are better. All right, let's go for the non-glazed version. Oh, it's a hamburger bun. It's strawberry jelly this time. And confectioner's stevia. Again, not a donut. This is delusion. Don't piss me off. This guy's back. This screams Tumblr anorexia recipe. How about s'mores? Got to get the s'mores one, right? S'mores one has to be correct. There's got to be some marshmallow fluff on it. It looks like it's got actual chocolate on it. Let's give this one a shot. It's a hamburger bun. Cocoa, protein powder, and okay, it's got actual marshmallow. I don't like marshmallow flavor stuff, but it's actually got marshmallow. All right. This one I think is the least egregious. That topping is probably atrocious. Why do you keep using those patties? How about cookie dough? Who doesn't like cookie dough? Oh, it's a hamburger bun. All right, same filling, it looks like. No, that's the same chocolate. What is that? Hold on. What the hell was that in the middle? Hold on, I gotta pause the video. Ingredients. Cookie dough filling is vanilla ice cream flavored protein, convection or sugar, almond milk, and milk chocolate chips. How is that cookie dough? You can actually make cookie dough that's not super... You can use like real eggs and shit in it. And it's a hamburger bun. I gotta give it to her. Like, the thumbnails look good, right? The thumbnails are very clickable. Like, that's very clickable. That's very clickable. It looks like a real donut. And then you open it and you use a hamburger bun. Jordy, I hope you see this. I hope somehow, some way you see this. Stop using hamburger buns. Just use a Hawaiian roll. Hawaiian rolls are actually sweet. They have, honestly, probably better macros than a full hamburger. Also, why keto? Why the keto hamburger bun? Use a Hawaiian roll instead. A lot better. What is it? I just want to see this cake batter one because I hate cake batter stuff. Yeah. Oh, Greek yogurt in this one. Oh my God. This is atrocious. Okay, I'm going to throw up. I hate cake batter flavored stuff. I didn't even know they made cake batter extract like that. All right, guys, donuts are not hamburger buns. That's your TLDR right there. That's the main thing that I wanted to say on that one. So, Jordy, don't put hamburger buns and call them donuts. All right, that's it. I got that out. I feel a lot better. I can move into something that's a little bit more serious. And what's serious is this. So, this is actually a very interesting thing right here. This guy, 242 Auto Works, has like an auto maintenance. Hold on, I gotta turn the fan on. It's getting hot in here. Has like an auto maintenance store. And then he just posts like viral gym fails. And then he uses that to like generate a lot of likes and views on his page. So people come to his page and then he just posts like his business stuff. It's kind of an interesting. I've never seen anyone do that before. I've seen some people try and like, mimic trends and viral TikTok trends and all that stuff. I've never seen people just straight up post like viral fail videos and then make that part of your page to bring more traffic to your page and then post your actual stuff. All right, this is a weightlifting fail. If you are a little bit squeamish, don't watch this. It's not like there's like no broken bones or broken arms or anything like that. So don't worry about that. Looking at the front rack position, it's horrible. I don't know why his elbows bend in like that, but he can definitely have his elbows a little bit lower. Looks like grip could be a little bit wider. We do want to see the bar in the full hand, but honestly, it doesn't matter. The dip is way too low. Holy mother of God, what are you even trying to do? Now you've completely lost that position forward, and what happens when he jerks it is catastrophic. Jerk, miss, spine. Holy, Jake, we're going to play it again. Oh, I've never seen anyone do that before. Never, ever have I ever seen anyone do that before. And the problem is, when he misses, he doesn't throw... I didn't know it was going to... When he throws it back, he doesn't step forward. He sticks his ass out when he drops it behind him. Arms give out, fine. Just take a step forward. You take a step forward, this bar is behind you, you live to fight another day, but you take it to the spine and you really open up those hips. Talk about a hip opener. Look at that face. Groin thoroughly stretched. All right, that's all I got on that one. Just wanted to show that weightlifting fail video. Really liked it. I've never seen anyone miss like that. I've seen people like miss behind and then like try and hold on to the bar and it like breaks their arms behind them. I've seen people miss a jerk out front where they leave the front foot out in a split jerk and it lands on their shin and breaks their leg in half. I've never seen someone just take it to the sacrum and get absolutely punished into the ground. It's 225 pounds too. It's 225 and this guy probably weighs like 165. So take whatever your weight is, add 60 pounds, put that on a barbell and take it right into the sacrum, take it right into the L5 vertebrae and let that punish you into the ground. Ugh. Nice shoes though. Got the Romaleo 2s. Those are a collector's item. The Gymshark. This guy's fit is fresh. Got the Gymshark shorts, Romaleos, the lift. Just didn't go your way, bud. Didn't go your way. That was a quick one. Moving right along to another piece of Instagram content that I actually kind of like. So Burn Boot Camp, Hickory, North Carolina, posted this. It has 65,000 likes. It was posted a week ago. The metrics, the comments have been limited. The metrics on it showed, I think, 30,000 shares. But the comments have been limited. It's got a lot of likes. What do you think that means happened in the comments? Let's watch this. Ready? All right. Congratulations to Yolanda, pushing fear aside, conquering her first box jump. Like, listen, when you've spent your entire life being incredibly unathletic, not jumping, hopping, skipping, running, jogging, really anything, and now you are very overweight, and you've got this, it's a 20-inch box, but she's on a platform, so it's probably like a 16-inch box jump. To get your body 16 to 20 inches off of the ground and get yourself on top of a box when you haven't really done anything athletic for the greater part of your entire life is very intimidating. It's incredibly intimidating. And it's not uncommon to see people just kind of jump and take it to the knees. And then eventually she works through it and boom, box jump. Like, that is not easy to do as someone who is very physically unfit. This woman in the first video, she looks like she's gotten a good bit fitter. And, the comment section on videos like this is usually atrocious, which is probably why the comments are limited. But the comment section on this kind of brought back my belief, my faith in humans. Awesome. No one should not be able to do that. This one I don't think is well-meaning. I was the exact same way. That's awesome. Look at you go. I got chills. Woohoo. Such a significant moment. I'm so happy she believed in herself. Great job, Yolanda. Gave me all the feels. Yes. So proud of you. So proud of you. What a moment. So proud of you. Get back to work. Tag someone else, telling them to get back to work. This is amazing. You're so strong. Way to go. Congrats. Love this. Great job. Get it. Great job. And it's hundreds and hundreds of comments like these. And usually the comment section on this would be all sorts of horrendous, Michelin Man, Pillsbury Girl, jumping jokes that I can't really think of right now, but usually horrible, horrible jokes. And, to see, even though the comment section is limited, and even see that this has 30,000 shares of people probably making fun of this woman, it really is good to see stuff like this. And I think that's why a lot of people burn out in training when they go to like the traditional Crunch, LA Fitness, Gold's Gym model where they work out alone and they only have themselves and they get very discouraged in their performance. I think gyms like Burn Boot Camp, whether the quality of the programming is good or not, while the quality of the programming is up to question for the coaching, I think that environments like this really are group training settings are really going to be a big piece of the future of fitness because they encourage the social and the community aspect of what training is all about. You don't have to be this lone ranger in training of like, I don't go to the gym with other people. I put my headphones on. I don't talk. I just grind, brother. I think that this is a bigger part of what fitness will look like in the future. And this is a bigger part of what beating the obesity epidemic will look like long term. It's more social encouragement. It's more small milestones like this encouraged by, a coach in the setting, group setting, small goals, accomplishments in a structured format around your friends, around your people. That's what keeps you coming back time and time again. So, Yolanda, I like what I see here. And people in the comments, I give you kudos. Thanks for not being mean to this woman. Being mean to people on the internet is fun. Don't get me wrong. But there's a time and a place. And the time and the place is not when someone like this, who is just starting their fitness journey, is getting their first milestone. So good stuff here. Faith restored 1% in humanity. I'm sure I'll see something on the internet later that completely destroys that. But for now, I'm feeling good. Let's move it along to something that made me feel even better. Quite funny. A little piece right here. All right. So this is probably for the bodybuilders who watch this is probably the piece of memes and things that you heard on the intro that you stuck around for. So let's get into it. And that is this PED using bodybuilder transformation to Natty. So I read the comments. I tried to find this guy's profile. I couldn't find his profile. I thought it was, I think Andre Diu is his name. I thought that was him, but it's not. Guys, I'm drinking water today. I thought that was his name, but it doesn't appear that that's this guy, even though they've had similar transformations of going from enhanced bodybuilder to natural as a result of the comment section here says that this guy had hernia surgery and just completely stopped working out for 6 months and stopped taking gear, which does make sense. But then there were some other comments that were like, no, like hernia surgery is, faster recovery and blah, blah, blah. You would be back at the gym in, 4 to 6 weeks. And so hard to say, but this transformation is pretty shocking. So 2023, guy looks like pretty much like an IFBB Pro men's physique competitor here. Stacked, shoulders are great, chest development is awesome, his arms are huge, abs look fantastic. Legs seem to be a little underdeveloped, but they're not sticks. So guy was paying some attention to his legs as well. Back is super wide. And then the next year, he looks like this. So from 2023, stacked out of his mind, to like first day in the gym status right here. 1 year transformation going from PED using. And I don't think this is a feather in the cap for PED using bodybuilders at all whatsoever. So the common sentiment from natural bodybuilders who have a bone to pick with enhanced bodybuilders is that enhanced bodybuilders go that route because they don't know how to diet and they don't know how to train. And I would say this is a testament to that fact. Here's an individual who used to use PEDs, who stopped using PEDs, and essentially looks like he's, worked out for a couple months, maybe tops. Very minimal development whatsoever in this photo, in this video, this transformation right here. Now, if the comments are correct and this guy had hernia surgery and was out of the gym, completely out of the gym for a year, I would expect that to be this. But, little known fact about yours truly, when I competed in bodybuilding, I was 220 plus pounds on stage. There were some supplemental protocols that I utilized. I completely stopped 7 years ago, and I don't look like that. I don't look like that. This is a bad transformation for this guy. This is a bad look in terms of enhanced bodybuilders. So I do think, for the most part, that enhanced bodybuilders know how to work out. I think people know how to utilize progressive overload. I think in the absence of drugs, most of your Olympia-style competitors or your Olympia-level competitors, Sean Clarita being a good example, someone who was a natural pro, someone who was a very high-level natural competitor before he made the jump. I think most of your Olympia-level competitors would be natural pro bodybuilding champions because they have that propensity for building muscle mass. They know how to work hard. They know how to diet. They know how to do all that stuff. Now, this is someone who's not an Olympia competitor. He's probably a fringe level IFBB pro or a national level competitor who apparently is relying a little bit too heavily on the PEDs, because if he stopped but kept training and kept dieting and then ended up looking like this, his knowledge of dieting and training leave a lot to be desired. Maybe he should come do CrossFit, because I'm still jacked. That was like the funny thing when I stopped bodybuilding and I stopped at that side of bodybuilding to switch over to CrossFit. The biggest thing that people told me was like, oh, you're going to get so small. I don't fucking look like that guy. I don't look like this guy. So at least I beat him. If you know this guy's tag, if you know this guy's please let me know. I need to do some more research. I couldn't find it in the comments. There's so many comments. No one's like, yo, what's this guy's What's his Instagram tag? So not a great natty versus unnatty. Honestly, if this went in the opposite direction, maybe that's it. Maybe that's the joke here. Maybe I'm missing a joke. Kenny KO's profile is a lot of like memes and joking. Maybe I'm missing the joke. Well, either way, if this is the transformation the way it goes, this guy needs to sign up with a Gifted HQ coach as soon as possible to get his training and his nutrition back on track. All right, that wraps up memes and things. Moving into our Instagram grower. YouTube shower. This one comes from me this week, guys. It's okay. I'm gonna post my own stuff. So I was thinking about the term. Someone said the term like 1%er, and it's like, okay. I was thinking like, what does someone do to be in the 1%? Like, what is someone like? A lot of times people say, "Oh, 1%er," and they're talking about financially speaking. So what does someone do to become a financial 1%er? Oh, well, they show up at work every day and they put in the effort and they get the promotions and maybe they're starting their own business and, they're putting in long days, they're putting in long hours, they're consistent, they read a lot, they, have access to mentors, or they take advantage of mentors. I was like, what does it mean to be like a health and fitness 1%er? So in the 1% of the population, meaning that, you eat a nutritious diet, the diet of fruits and vegetables and protein, you go to the gym. And I was like, okay, well, on the training side, if you want to be as healthy and as fit as you possibly can, you want to be in the 1% of healthy and fit people from a training perspective, what do you need to be doing every single week? So I think what you need to be doing is lifting weights 3 to 4 times a week. More can be better. I think lifting 5 times a week, 6 times a week, 7 times a week is perfectly fine as long as your recovery is balanced. Be doing interval, shorter duration cardio. So getting your heart rate over 150 beats per minute, 2 to 3 times a week. Those are shorter sessions. Think anywhere from 5 up to 15 minutes in interval style, up to maybe even 20, 30 minutes of intervals. If your fitness is good enough for that. Sustained longer duration cardio. So that's greater than 30 minutes, heart rate of 120 to 130, doing that 2 to 3 times a week. And then you get into stuff that really not a lot of people are doing, which would be jumping, hopping, skipping, sprinting, your plyometrics, your running, your sprinting, your quote unquote athletic stuff, 1 to 2 times a week. And then one that a lot of people miss out on because they go and they do their training for the day and then they go and they sit in front of the couch or they sit in front of the TV on the couch the entire rest of the day. And it's leisure time physical activity. So 3 to 5 times a week doing 30 to 60 minutes of leisure time physical activity. And someone in the comments said, what do you consider to be leisure time physical activity? Would that be something like walking? Yeah, sure. If walking is something that you enjoy, that's physically active. You're doing it during your leisure time. For a lot of my other clients, it's playing sports. It's playing basketball. It's playing tennis. Maybe I made a joke in the comments. Maybe you go to the bowling alley and maybe you play Dance Dance Revolution. Maybe you're bowling. Maybe you're going to the country western bar and doing 60 minutes of line dancing twice a week. It doesn't really matter what you do. What matters is that during your leisure time, when you're not at work, you're not, you're not at the gym, not doing any of your other obligations throughout the week, you're doing some sort of leisure time physical activity. Jimmy and I need to get back to it, but we used to play tennis. Every weekend, we'd play tennis for like 60 minutes. It's fun. It's physically active. It expends calories. It improves fitness. And it improves your health long term. Can you offset an otherwise sedentary lifestyle with your training, your gym routine? Some people say yes. A lot of people say no. I would say yes for the most part, but I would say the leisure time physical activity that you get is really kind of what pushes you over the edge towards maintaining a healthy body weight, maintaining a healthy body fat, and giving yourself a lot more flexibility in what you can eat. So people who move around during their leisure time a lot more tend to be able to eat a higher calorie content with more flexibility in their food choices while maintaining a healthier body weight. So that's what it takes, in my opinion, to be in the 1% or have the habits of a health and fitness 1%er. All right, last but not least, let's answer a Reddit question. We got to do it. We must. It is a necessity. It is a feature of the show that we love. All right, there's my Reddit question for the day. Our Reddit question comes from, what does that even say? Mal2K4. Mallory. She was born in 2004. How old does that make her? 19? 20? It's kind of crazy. Someone born in 2004 is about to start legally drinking. Bless you.
People born in 2000 are going to be 23, 24. Isn't that crazy?
No, it's literally just how time works. It goes by. when I took this screenshot, look at that battery charge right there. My battery was charged. Wait, no, I think these are screenshots from Jake. Jake, good job. You charged your battery. Oh, Jake, I skipped over the AI song. Just play it at the end. Play it as our outro. Guys, my addiction to these AI songs has not been satiated. I'm not sure that it'll ever be satiated, but Jake's going to play one at the end as our outro. Every week, we'll play you an AI song at the end. That's our treat to everyone who sticks around for the full episode. All right. The question is casein or whey protein for satiety. For a protein shake, if I wanted to keep... I love people's grammar on Reddit. For a protein shake, if I wanted to keep... that should be myself full for a long time. And then what protein would I want to use? And do protein shakes normally use milk or water, or can it vary? Okay, casein and whey. Differentiating between the two. You have two types of protein in milk. Casein protein and whey protein. Casein protein is what's skimmed out to make cheese. Whey protein is the liquid form. Whey protein digests significantly faster. Casein digests a little bit slower. So there's that. Casein protein powders usually have a higher fat content in them. That makes them digest a little bit slower. It also delivers a higher calorie content. Theoretically, that should improve satiety as an effect of GLP-1s and insulin. And casein protein is the new Ozempic. See, guys, when you say stupid stuff, it's important that I make fun of you. All right. But a lot of people will say, like, casein makes me feel full for longer. You know, casein clumps up in your stomach. That's the crazy one. Casein clumps up in your stomach. What the fuck are you talking about? Casein clumps up in your stomach. Casein does digest slower. Tends to, just not be absorbed as quickly. So people say, oh, it makes me feel full for longer. I don't buy it. I think casein or whey will make you feel full for longer. But I think that there are some things to consider here. So on a macronutrient basis, like we talked about, casein protein powders usually have higher fat in them. Whey proteins are usually isolates. They have all the carbs. They have all the fats taken out of them. So it's just pure protein for faster digestion. Theoretically, that should have less of an effect on satiety, and most people report that. Casein protein shakes make me feel full for longer. Whey, I'm immediately hungry after. From a macronutrient standpoint, macronutrient basis, that does make sense. What I think is more important is the taste basis. Most of your whey proteins are very easy to make taste very good. So like your whey protein isolates are like Fruit Loops flavor and Fruity Pebbles flavored and Snickers flavored, and they taste super good, largely because they're loaded with a bunch of added flavors. But they just take on flavor a little bit better. Casein, not so much. Most of your casein protein powders taste, at least when I was using casein a little bit more, taste pretty bad. The consistency is very thick, it's very sludgy, and the taste is not so good. So from a taste standpoint, we know that taste has an effect on satiety. A whey protein that tastes very good is going to cue your hunger signals to be hungrier. You're going to want to eat more after that. Whereas a casein, if it tastes worse, you're going to be like, okay, I think I'm done. I no longer want to eat anything. So from a taste basis, and what I think is more important than the macronutrient basis here, casein should make you feel full for longer and faster. Now, discussion of hunger as a whole. When do we actually feel our hungriest? So think about fat loss dieting when we're leanest. Hunger is largely driven by calorie content of the diet. In a fat loss diet, calories are low, thus you feel hungrier, and it's driven by fat loss. The body has a signal to say, yo, you feel hungrier when you are very lean, so when you're low body fat. So if you are in an extreme fat loss diet, think about for a bodybuilding show, neither casein or whey are largely going to influence your hunger levels because your hunger levels are being driven by a fixed calorie content of the diet, meaning that you must eat low calories in a bodybuilding diet, and you must be low body fat to be competitive on stage. So neither casein or whey are going to have a significant effect on your hunger levels from that standpoint. Casein maybe a little bit more, but neither are going to have an effect that's like, oh, I just drink casein protein shakes all day when I'm dieting and it makes my life easy. The last point here is water or milk in protein shakes. Again, if you're looking for satiety, you should choose something that's higher in fat, it's going to increase the calorie content of the shake as a whole. So for that, you would choose something like milk preferably whole milk. It's going to deliver the most amount of fat and the most amount of calories and, trigger those satiety reflexes faster than a whey protein shake in water. So I would say that it just depends on the needs of the diet as a whole. If you're someone that's trying to gain weight, sounds like you're trying to lose weight if you're worried about satiety. But if you're someone that's trying to gain weight, you should increase the calorie content of the shake and you should mix it with something like milk. If this is a fat loss diet, I would say mix casein with water, make it taste as bad as possible, make the texture as horrendous as possible, choke it down, and then say, okay, I don't want to eat or even look at anything that could be considered food anytime soon. That is the long and the short of it, casein or whey. That also brings us to the end of our episode. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. Thanks for making it all the way to the end. You are the people that keep the GPP going. So thank you a million times over. We love you. I'll see you on the next time. In between times, in the meantime, and always, Jake, I got it. Close enough. We'll call that one close enough. Stay gifted. Now play them out with a nice AI song. Later, guys. Peace.
There's a place up in the mountains where the pines reach for the skies. A little slice of heaven where your troubles say goodbye. It's the Gifted HQ fall retreat and a journey we'll embark to Pigeon River, North Carolina, where adventure sparks a spark. There's hiking trails that wind through woods where the wildflowers grow. White water rafting down the stream with the current steady flow. We'll work up a sweat with workouts, push our limits and our minds, and find that piece of peace we lost, the kind that's hard to find. So pack your bags and join us, come along, don't hesitate. We'll make memories in the mountains in a peaceful, lovely state. There's a game room for the laughter and a hot tub under stars, with a bar to toast the good times as we gather from afar. There's a trail that leads to vistas where the world is on display, and the sunsets paint the skies in a warm and golden ray. We'll bond and share our stories round a campfire at night, with the crickets singing softly in the Appalachian light. So pack your bags and join us, come along, don't hesitate. We'll make memories in the mountains in a peaceful, lovely state. There's a game room for the laughter and a hot tub under stars, with a bar to toast the good times as we gather from afar. We'll find rest and relaxation, leave our worries far behind. In the fall retreat we long for, where the simple joys unwind. In the heart of Carolina, where the rivers flow so free, Gifted HQ's calling, won't you come and see? Find rest and relaxation, leave our worries far behind. In the fall retreat we long for, where the simple joys unwind. In the heart of Carolina, where the rivers flow so free, Gifted HQ's calling, won't you come and see?